destruction mode. That is a quick 6 in a row, fight one, just defeat it, new one comes out. Like that. Finish it, so a lot of your time is probably going to be spent in the God of Destruction mode. Then there's Versus mode, which functions. It's done well in offline multiplayer like that. That was always the most fun part of the older Godzilla games, like on the PlayStation. This is a lot. Hi, this is hope we didn't lose the feed there. This is a lie. It actually that's just where you level up your character. So not really a mode. Diorama mode is, I will show you later, but that also is gonna cause the video to go away. This is a Namco game, and just like the Dragon Ball Z game they put out earlier this year, they insist on blocking off different scenes from Twitch streams. Don't know why, but it's very inconvenient. So, a bit frustrating. Kaiju Guide. This is nice. This is, I don't know who it's for, but it's a nice little feature. I think it's cool. You get for every character and some that aren't even in the game, you get a nice little bio and some stats about it. Which, yeah, you could Google it. You could find it on Wikipedia. You could get all the nice. I like it. I read through them all. It's comprehensive, and maybe it'll get some maybe younger kids that maybe don't know about characters like King Caesar into watching his 2 movies that he was in. Who knows? Maybe not. But I like it. I think it's a nice little addition to a otherwise bare bones release. This game is technically a PS4 re-release of 2 PS3 games in Japan, which were Godzilla and Godzilla Versus. They mashed them together, released them here with minor, if any, graphical upgrades. So let's start with King of Kaiju mode. That one's going to be quicker, and it's going to show off some of my bigger issues with the game. And let me start off by saying I am a huge Godzilla fan. I've loved this series my entire life. Man, so much time I put into it, and this is not the game like we deserve. We deserve better, is what I'm trying to say, and it's frustrating. Now, that being said, knowing that it wasn't going to be great, I still bought it full price, because if I didn't, I felt like if I didn't, then I don't get to complain when we don't get more Godzilla games. So, you know, that's kind of the struggle I'm dealing with now. Like, do you reward Namco for making a terrible game, or do you tell Toho, like, I really want a game, here's $60? It's a trade-off. That's why voting with your dollar doesn't always work. Now, unlike the PS2 games and like that generation, it was on multiple systems, but there is no block. There's no block. See how he's hitting me? There's nothing I can do to block. I can do this, and that sends him away, but there's no block button. There, you can turn slowly, and then maybe, like, oh, yeah, since sometimes it'll redirect, but you can turn slowly using R1 or L1, and that's one thing I will say. They are good about making you feel like a guy in a suit, like a just lumbering monster. Like, that does feel good. But these graphics are not PS4 quality. And that jump that took me like 10 hours to unlock. Mainly because the one monster I had to fight to unlock it wasn't showing up. But yeah, like that when you start this game, all you have are this turn, like the only moves you have like are this turn. You can do strong attack, all right, and you have a charge move, and you will be doing that for hours before you're able to maneuver better than that. Now, I actually shouldn't be going after buildings in this mode. This mode's mainly just about fighting other kaiju. But yeah, actually, I don't have an excuse. There's no but. I should have just been fighting Mothra this whole time. This game in the God of Destruction mode actually rewards that kind of gameplay, though. What happens is you start off at 50 meters, and throughout the course of the story, you want your Godzilla or your kaiju to get bigger. And how that happens is by destroying more buildings and increasing a multiplier that you'll see when we get to that mode. The issue with that is it turns every single round into it turns your character into a Roomba, where it's just methodically moving back and forth across the level, like destroying buildings, and it's not that pretty. Like right now, I have the you actually have some. Let this load up here real quick, and then I'll show you. I have the color film filter on because it actually hides some of this game's flaws. Let me adjust that just so you guys can see that. We'll go with the color video. So this is what the game looks like. I'm not crazy about that. Like, it does look better. I mean, not better, but like it looks cleaner. But I don't know. I prefer the filter, and I'll actually bump it down to the monochrome one, the black and white. That is my favorite. That's actually what sold me on this game. Like initially, I love that, and I know they haven't all been in black and white, but I think it's a nice little touch. It's something they didn't have to do, but it's nice. So there you go. You've seen some Hedorah in color. You've seen this motion, but yeah, this is the game. And that move I also did unlock for like 10 hours. But I can't really completely blame them. It's mainly because I couldn't get Mothra to show up, adult Mothra. So I don't know who to blame for that, but it was an issue. This is the black and white mode. I love this. Like this feels really cool. But see how these buildings are collapsing? I think we deserve better destruction than this. This system can handle it. So, and yes, I know this is a PS3 re-release, but that's why I bought it. I'm buying it in the hopes that they'll see that there's some interest in the series and maybe give it to a Western developer. Would be nice. I don't really have anyone off the top of my head. Maybe is it Volition? Volition or whoever handles the Saints Row games. I feel like the Saints Row, the people from THQ who handled Saints Row and I should have checked this out. Oh, Red Faction. That had good destruction in it. And that was last gen, so it's about on par with this, but I'd just really like to see something that felt better, and maybe added a block button. I mean, it just completely takes out any strategy to this, and it just turns into who is stronger, who's taller, and Hedorah, actually especially, beat the shit out of me for hours. He has a lot of unblockable moves, and like combos that like he can just trap you in. So I don't know. Let's pop out of this before I die. I don't want to give him the satisfaction. Let's head back, and I'll show you a little bit of the God of Destruction mode, just so you can see what passes for a cutscene. It's horribly depressing, especially as a fan. I don't know really what to make of it, but oh, and here, Godzilla 2014. Here's your cutscene. The year's 2015 right now, and this is a cutscene.
Commencing generator shutdown
yep.
sequence.
Alright, so see that,
100 seconds until shutdown.
here it comes, Fury meter there. You want to keep that built up throughout your entire playthrough, as long as possible, because the higher it is whenever you destroy a G generator, the larger your character gets. You'll see the power down there. Now this character, Godzilla 2014, he maintains his size, but his strength increases. So other characters, they'll start at 50 meters and go from there, ending somewhere around 100 meters. I think the highest I've seen is 130. And this is the whole game. It's just you destroying buildings. Hopefully a kaiju shows up. They'll send out tanks and stuff, and they have a lot of neat little touches, but it's just not it's not up to par.
First squad.
Now, here's a G generator.
Generator is losing.
Slowly destroy it. Now, usually, right now, our force field's going to come up. I'm going to use mic to the settings here, just so you can see this in color. Alright, see how it's turning red there? That tells you like how far, and then my power meter just went up because I destroyed that. And that's your only goal. Like that's it. So I don't know, I'm torn as a fan. I really want more. I like some of the touches they've done. These little intros are cool, and this game has I think the best roster in any Godzilla game. I may be wrong about that. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But yeah, like it has nice little touches. It has redeeming qualities. Is it worth $60? Absolutely not. Maybe pick it up when it drops in price a little bit, unless you're a huge fan, in which case you probably already have it and aren't watching this, or don't need to watch this. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't want this video to be a bummer, but yeah, it's kind of where we're at right now. Now, let's just do one blast, and then I'll hop out of this. Like, yeah. My biggest issue with this is probably that they get the destruction so wrong. Instead of buildings collapsing into rubble, they break into these pre-made. See that, like little just building shapes. I haven't seen a Godzilla attack in real life, but I'm fairly certain they don't do that. That buildings don't do that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just asking questions, okay? But does atomic breath melt steel beams like that? I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, evolution mode, that's just your character upgrade menu. I would go into it, but it will actually take away the video because, once again, this is a Namco game, and I don't know why they're so such sticklers about that. I guess they want to protect their. Yeah, you know what? I actually don't know the reason, but it's not a good enough one. And then there's same thing with diorama mode. Yeah, that is basically let's just hop into it real quick. Hopefully you guys don't lose the picture for too long. But you can make these little models, and that's kind of cool. But I mean, it's not the best graphics. Like, I don't want to care. I don't want to like say that's that much of an issue. And they're very specific. They let you move it all around, and I don't know. It's a nice little touch on something that's not that great overall. Trophies wise, it's pretty generous, but whether or not that's redeemable enough for you, that's up to you. I like the game, but I don't at the same time. So yeah, I wish I could say more. But I am at a loss for words. So let's just real quick show you the character list here of who you could play as, and it should come up here. All right, yeah. So you got Godzilla, Anguirus, both larva and adult Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Hedorah, who's a monster. Jet Jaguar was a nice surprise. I will give them that. I did not see that coming. You actually have to do some special stuff to get him to show up at all. And yeah, he was cool. He can actually shrink too. They actually like let him shrink down to human size, so that's neat. Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla 2, Biolante, Mecha King Ghidorah, Batra, also adult, larva and adult. Super Mechagodzilla, Space Godzilla, who I love when he shows up because as powerful as he's supposed to be, he is the easiest kaiju that I've had to fight in this game. I don't know if it's this because he's so slow and lumbering, but yeah, I love when he shows up. Destroyer lives up to his name. Very hard to fight in this game. Very quick, very strong, massive whenever he shows up. Burning Godzilla from the movie with Destroyer, 95. Type 3 Kiru, who's a dick online. Like he's very hard to fight. Gigan. I was a little upset they didn't have like the classic Gigan look, but you know, I mean, they are pretty comprehensive with this, so it's hard to complain, you know. Where's Ebra, the lobster, giant sea monster, Godzilla 2014 and 64. So I mean, it is a meaty list. It's a good list, but I mean, there's not much to do with them once you get them in there. They all have their own unique moves, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure if that's enough. Alright, well, I can say this is enough of this video, so thanks for joining me.